Beneath the sands of Egypt lies something far older than history dares to remember. Not just bones or broken statues, but a grid, a living, breathing lattice of consciousness, a web of energy etched into the bedrock of Earth itself. And though it has been buried under centuries of dust, conquest, and forgetting, it has never stopped humming. This grid is not just beneath the Great Pyramid. It extends across the Nile, across the desert, across time. It is a piece of a planetary puzzle, one node in a forgotten network that once pulsed in harmony with the cosmos. And now, something is stirring, because this grid wasn't just a relic. It was a technology, an Atlantean inheritance, a sacred geometry encoded into stone and song, meant to awaken your memory and realign your soul with the divine architecture of Earth itself. This is the hidden grid beneath the pyramids they don't want you to see. And once you remember it, you begin to remember everything. They told you the pyramids were tombs, but no pharaoh was ever found buried inside the Great Pyramid. They told you they were built with copper tools and slaves. But you cannot cut granite with copper, and the precise alignment of the pyramid with true north, its harmonic proportions, its internal resonant chambers. They don't speak of primitive ingenuity. They speak of something else. A blueprint, a harmonic anchor, a multidimensional structure designed to tune Earth's frequency. You see, the pyramid isn't a tomb. It's a transmitter. Its base is mapped to the golden ratio, its height to the curvature of the Earth. Its chambers resonate with frequencies that align with brainwave states, theta, gamma, delta, as if the structure itself was designed to initiate consciousness, to guide the soul on a journey through dimensions. But how? Because beneath it, hidden in the layers of stone and time, is a grid, not visible to the eye, but felt by the spirit. A crystalline geometric matrix that channels energy from deep within the Earth, upward like a spinal column rising through the body of Gaia. Ley lines, dragon lines, telluric currents. Whatever name you give them, they are real, they are measurable, and they converge beneath the Giza Plateau. This grid is not chaotic. It's symmetrical, it's purposeful, and it has twins across the Andes, in Angkor Wat, in the highlands of Tibet, and the deserts of Arizona, all part of an ancient planetary network, one that once linked the wisdom centers of the world in a field of coherence. So why was it hidden? Why was this truth buried? Because when you remember it, you remember who you are. Long ago, before the pyramids were Egyptian, before the Nile carved its path, this land was something else. It was called Kem, and before that, it was a colony from Atlantis. Yes, that Atlantis. Not the myth, but the memory. Not a single island, but a civilization technological, spiritual, and global. The pyramid grid was seeded by those who remembered the stars. They came from the west, not as conquerors, but as guardians. They carried blueprints of crystal resonance, planetary harmonics, and the art of aligning stone with soul. These weren't just engineers, they were initiates, priests and priestesses of sound, light, and sacred geometry. They weren't building monuments, they were building consciousness amplifiers, structures that aligned with Earth's natural energy lines, temples that could tune the body, chambers that could awaken the pineal gland, halls that could download the Akashic memory. But after the fall, when the Atlantean cataclysm cracked the grid and scattered the lineages, the knowledge was hidden, not to deceive, but to protect, because consciousness had descended. Humanity had forgotten its multidimensional nature, and power had begun to replace wisdom. So the grid was buried, encoded in myth, guarded by symbols, and entrusted to time, until we were ready to remember. And that time is now. If you feel the grid reactivating within you, don't ignore it. Subscribe and let this journey awaken what's been hidden. So, how does this grid work? It's not just stone and symmetry, it's vibration. You see, the earth is not inert. She sings through the Schumann resonance, through electromagnetic pulses, through the crystalline frequencies that ripple through quartz, granite, and water. And the pyramids, particularly Giza, sit directly atop a junction of these currents. They don't just sit on ley lines. They interact with them. They magnify, harmonize, and broadcast energy. This is why the pyramids were sheathed in white limestone, once glowing in the sun like mirrors. It's why their inner chambers contain piezoelectric granite. These weren't just aesthetic choices. They were functional. Imagine standing in a chamber designed like a harmonic resonator. Your body, composed of water and crystal, begins to attune. Your cells respond. Your DNA remembers. You are no longer just a person in a temple. You become the temple. This is the deeper purpose of the grid, not just to power civilizations, but to awaken souls. And in certain moments during solar alignments, lunar eclipses, or geomagnetic surges, the grid activates. And those sensitive to it, those whose soul carries the codes, begin to feel the call, not as a sound, but as a remembering. That remembering is already happening. You may feel it as a pulse behind your eyes, a longing to go somewhere you've never been, but somehow remember, a pull toward Egypt, toward stone, toward sky, or maybe you dream of corridors filled with light, or symbols that glow in blue, or chambers underground that hum like a heartbeat. These aren't fantasies, they're memory traces. Your soul is triangulating between past, present, and purpose. Because this isn't just about Egypt, it's about you. The grid beneath the pyramids isn't just geological, it's spiritual. It mirrors the inner grid within your light body, the nadis, meridians, chakras, all harmonize with the planetary system. So as the earth reawakens, you reawaken. As the pyramid hums, your soul begins to sing, and what was once forgotten begins to rise again. They don't want you to know this, because if you remember the grid, you remember the real history. If you remember the energy, you reclaim your sovereignty. And if you remember the purpose, you can no longer be controlled by fear. You see, the ancients weren't primitive, they were cosmic. They understood that the earth is not just a rock in space, it is a conscious being with an energetic skeleton, a resonant field, and a divine purpose. And you are not just a visitor on this earth, you are a co-creator. The pyramids are not just symbols, they are invitations to activate the grid within you, to walk the path of initiation, to remember the divine architecture of your being. And once you do, once you begin to live in harmony with this ancient frequency, you begin to see through the illusion. You awaken to the hidden order. You begin to build the future on top of what was always sacred. Because the truth is this: you are not separate from the grid. You are one of its living nodes, a point of light encoded into the planetary body, meant to receive, transmit, and awaken energy across dimensions. The ancients knew this. They designed not just temples of stone, but temples of human potential. You are not a spectator to their legacy. You are its continuation. And this is why the pyramid hums when you remember, because your consciousness is the key. You complete the circuit. You see, this isn't just about sacred geometry carved in limestone. It's about geometry awakened in you, your energy field, your crystalline DNA, your harmonic signature. You are a living technology designed to interact with the Earth grid, When you walk with awareness, when you meditate in alignment, when you speak truth, move in rhythm, and feel with depth, you activate the lines beneath your feet. You send signal through the stone, and the planet begins to respond. This is how the ancient builders worked. They were not imposing their will upon the earth. They were co-creating with her, listening, singing, aligning. The stones were placed through ceremony, not conquest. The measurements were received, not invented, and the grid beneath was respected as a sacred intelligence, not a resource to be mined, but a memory to be honored. And now it's returning. This is why you're awakening at this time, why your body is more sensitive, why your dreams are more vivid, why you're feeling called to sacred places you've never visited, and remembering truths you were never taught. Because the reactivation of the Earth grid isn't a geological event, it's a soul event, and your soul signed up for this mission long ago. You are a grid keeper, a frequency holder, a bridge between dimensions. You don't need permission. You only need remembrance. Walk barefoot upon the land. Speak to the stones. Sit with the sunrise. Breathe with the earth. And when you feel that subtle pulse, that invisible resonance calling you home, don't dismiss it. Follow it. Because that is the grid whispering. That is the ancient network reactivating through you. And when enough of us remember, when enough of us walk as awakened nodes of consciousness, the full planetary circuit will come online again. Not to power machines, but to power transformation, to restore harmony, to awaken a new age. So ask yourself, what if the pyramid was never meant to be studied from the outside, but activated from within? What if Egypt is not just a destination, but a mirror? A reflection of your own divine architecture, calling you back to sacred geometry, to harmonic living, to multidimensional purpose. You are not just remembering history, you are remembering your role in it. You are the builder and the blueprint, the channel and the charge, the priest and the pyramid. And now the grid is humming once more. It is humming your name. You are the power source they never expected. It's time to remember.